it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you need the push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn if you want to make big money and you need to apply this. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Think big.
If you want to make more money, you want to make big money, you have to start thinking on a bigger scale. And that might sound obvious as I say it, but recognizing your own limiting thinking where you're playing small is one of the most challenging things to do, I think, in the world. I am where I'm at because I've thought big enough, but also I'm not at a higher level because I'm not thinking bigger, period. It's really hard. And so here's a quick example. There was 2 days ago, I was talking to an entrepreneur friend of mine, and he's built a decent business. Inside of 1 year, he's got a $250,000 business, right? That's pretty good business for 1 year. And he went from, being let go from his job and starting this company, and now he's at a $250,000 in revenue. And he messages me just as a fun thing to do, and he's like, "Hey, I'm doing a points run. Where should I go?" It's like, "Hey, if you could fly anywhere, where would you go on a points run?" Like, "What's a points run?" And he said, I'm qualifying for one of the airlines to get a certain level, a certain tier with them, and I need to get a certain number of points so that I can qualify to get in." And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I pay zero attention to that." If you're thinking about going somewhere, instead of flying, this is how you upgrade. This is how you make more money, right? It's upgrading the thinking. He's trying to solve the problem of, I need to get into the points club so that I can get whatever marginal benefits from being in that club. And I said, you know what you should be thinking of? Instead of flying economy to some city that is however many miles away you need to get your points, what you should be doing is thinking, how do I make it worth my time to fly somewhere where I can afford to fly business class and land a 5-figure deal as a result of being there? He's got a couple clients right now that if he could go and visit them. We were just on a call, and he's talking about how one of his clients is having a hard time figuring out a standard operating procedure of how they should be applying the knowledge he's giving them and train their team on how to do it, right? That was a problem that just came up for them. It's like, we love what you're telling us. We love your offering. We're having a hard time executing it and making it standard procedure. The next call that he's doing with them was going to be to train them on how to do it. Great. Hey, instead of thinking about a points run, how about you go fly there and say, you know what? I'll spend a day with you, sitting down, training you on how to do this. This is a client that is already mid 5-figure client a year for him. That could easily become a low 6-figure client a year for him. So he could more than double the business if they execute on his ideas, right? Because he's not in there doing all the work, but this could more than double his business with this one client with no real extra added cost or expense to him, just pure income at the top. So instead of hopping on a Zoom call with them and training them and going back and forth on email, how about you fly there, spend a day with them, build the relationship even deeper with them because he's never actually met them in person. And that way you take your points run, you still get your points and qualify for whatever discounts you get and benefits. You can fly business class there, have a much better experience, and end up doubling the business with your client and getting an extra 5-6 figures as a result of it. Like, this is the upgrade in the thinking. You want to make bigger money, you have to start thinking about bigger thinking. And I fully acknowledge that I'm not thinking big enough for where I want to go. Every time I think I'm thinking big, I'll watch a Grant Cardone video or I'll watch an Elon Musk video, and Elon Musk is talking about having a backup plan for the planet. That's why we're going to Mars. I watch a Steve Jobs video about taking a dent in the universe, and I realize, oh my gosh, I'm thinking so small. I'm doing nothing. Not in a bad way, in an inspiring, positive way to say, man, you could be doing so much more. Come on, man, let's go. So it's still my biggest problem too. It's the hardest thing to catch. because for him and his environment and his friends and how he grew up, a points run is correct thinking. You know, getting the discount codes is the right thinking. The challenge with that is you're spending time looking for the best deal and looking to save $100 here or a couple $100 there. And you're using your mental energy up on small problems. What my friend is doing is using his mental energy up on trying to save a couple $1,000s when he could be adding 6 figures to his business with the same mental energy. Now, luckily, you know, he brought it up and I was able to call him out on it and suggest a better path forward. If he hadn't, it was a joke, I think, when he sent it. Like, where should I go on a points run? I don't think he expected the answer that I gave him. But I think the only way to get this is to be around the people who can call it out in you. Either physically, I think that's the best. The challenge is it's as you get bigger, as you grow more, there's fewer people who are ahead of you who can push you, right? There's fewer people who can look at what you're doing and say, hey, this is nothing. Play bigger in a loving way, like push you in a loving way. As you climb the ladder, there's fewer and fewer people at the top of the ladder who are ahead of you, right? And so, yes, you want to give back and you want to serve. And as you learn, you reach back and you pull somebody else up to your level, but constantly finding somebody. That's why I love mastermind groups. I love coaching. I love tapping into experts on different topics because they pull me up. Even if I'm an expert at something, I want to talk to my friends who are experts and people who are ahead of me because they push me to be better. And if you don't know those people yet, what are your options? Well, you could join group programs, right? I've got, for example, Movement Makers. I love my Movement Makers program. It's $49 a month and we meet every 2 weeks and you get to learn from me. And there's other amazing humans who are trying to build up their platforms as well and become thought leaders and experts. But if it's not my program, there's tons of other programs out there. Who do you connect with? Who do you love? Who do you look up to? And you get a little bit of, you may not be able to afford to fly there and meet them, but you can learn from them even in a group setting. If you can't afford that, you know, $49 a month or $97 a month or whatever the programs are is too much for you, then even the free content, even what I'm doing, even these videos here, you get a little bit from some super successful person every time I make a video. If you even just consistently watch those, I've learned a ton from Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs and people who I've never met through my own videos, and they push me and they challenge me. They can't specifically call me out. They can't say, hey, Evan, what you're doing right here, this thing that you're doing, like the points run, is small, right? You shouldn't be doing that. But they can at least give me encouragement and motivation in seeing what they're doing inspires me to want to do something bigger.
Rule number 2, focus.
The problem is not that you're not a genius. The problem is not that you don't have great ideas. The problem is that you are not focused. You haven't said that this is the thing. This is what I have to accomplish today. This is the mission that I am on and nothing is going to stop me. If you don't learn to focus on what's important to you, you'll never do important things and live your life reacting to what's important to other people instead. So I recently started a new business with one of my Thought Leadership Academy students, Jeremy. He came to my event last year. I was thinking about him on my tour this year and said, I want to start a business with Jeremy around YouTube consulting. I get asked a lot, hey Evan, can you check out my channel? Hey Evan, can I work with you? Hey Evan, can I hire you for XYZ? Looking at my channel, giving me ideas, mentoring, guiding me. And it's just not the business that I want to be in, but it is a business. And so I thought, Jeremy's going to come on board. He's going to do it. Now, when I recruited him and called him, he was not a YouTube expert. And I gave him the homework and said, listen, if you want to do this business together, it's got to be important to you. I'm halfway through my trip on my tour. I'm coming back in a month and a half. Here's what I need you to know by the end of the month and a half. And I gave him resources, I gave him videos, I gave him insights and analytics and said, you need to know all of this. Know all of this. And then when I come back, if you're ready, we'll start the business. And he did. He focused. He made it his priority. He knew nothing about this. And all of a sudden he became an expert by every day, all day long, grinding to learn. by researching everybody who is an expert at this, understanding their methodologies, their best practices, looking through all my videos, my thumbnails, my strategies, all the things that I've talked about in the past, digesting it, kind of like the Matrix, when Neo's in the Matrix and now he can learn Kung Fu, and now he learns how to fly a helicopter, all of that stuff. That's basically what he did. And when it came back in a month and a half, I put him to the test and said, hey, let's do 2 free calls. We'll take 2 people from my community and say, hey, free call, let's go. And he blew me away with how much he knew, because he focused on it. Here's a guy who went from knowing almost zero to now being an expert, to be able to really help give value to people. And now when we're looking at new people coming in, I barely have to do anything, because he already knows what I'm gonna say. He already knows, he's already done the work, he's done the research, because he spent that time on focused effort. And this is where I think a lot of people feel like they're never gonna win, because you may not have had the expertise, you don't have the education. It doesn't take long to become an expert. It's just focused work that you're passionate about. Focused work. You could quickly become, in a matter of months, an expert at something if you just focus in on it and dedicate your life to that thing that you love. You can easily pass people who are experts at something who don't love their thing, but because you're willing to take it on, you're willing to absorb. Think about when you went to school. How much of the information you had in your head, but you had to read over the page 4 times. So you're at the same page 4, 5, 6 times because you got lost, you got distracted. That's not focused work, because you don't love that thing. But when you love something, how much faster do you retain it? How much more enjoyable is the learning process? How much better are you really quickly? Because you love doing that thing. And so Jeremy got really good really quickly, because he loved it, because he attacked it, because he focused on it, because he made it a priority, because he didn't say, well, I'll spend half an hour a week trying this new thing. No, that's not how you win. Now, where do we go from here? We'll see. Does Jeremy want to be a one-man band forever? Does he just want to be a high-paid consultant? Does he want to then bring on a team? Does he want to expand? Does he want to have products? We'll see. We'll see how that business evolves and flows. But he got here in a really short amount of time because of that focused effort and energy, and that's what I want for you. I want you to take that big idea that you have. I want you to take the thing that you have great ideas. You're a genius. You are a genius. Why are you not winning? Why are dummies winning from the same ideas as you, from like a half-baked version of your idea? They're off winning because they focused on it. That's the only difference. The thing missing in your business's success story is a lack of focus and a lack of momentum. I want to change that. I'm going to give you a 3-step process on how to do it. Step number 1, what is the most important thing right now? Like, what is the most important goal that you need to work on right now? That if you did this thing, that you worked on this thing, it would potentially have a big impact on your business. What is it? You have a million ideas. Your list of ideas is not going to get shorter, by the way. As you get older, you're just going to add more and more and more and more to your list of potential ideas. It's amazing. But which one on that list, which one that if you just focused your time, that I've said, here's a gift of 8 hours, go crush something, what would you pick? What's the most important thing to you right now? Get clarity on it. Number 2 is schedule for success. Successful people have schedules that support them. What is a schedule that you need to have? Success is habits. Success is looking at your calendar and saying, if I did this work, what's in my calendar? If I did this for the next week, am I gonna move closer to my goals or not? Am I building momentum or not? Don't schedule according to other people's goals. Schedule according to your goals and put everything in there. How much time do you want to spend as a father, as a mother, as a husband, as a wife, as a son or as a daughter, as a friend? How much time do you need for yourself? How much time do you need to sleep? Put it in. Create your calendar. This is your life. Build your ideal life. Because if you don't schedule, if you don't have a sense of like, if I did these things, this is what's going to lead to my happiness and my joy, you're never going to get it. There's always going to be demands for your time. There's always going to be something that somebody wants to pull you in on. There's always going to be another pressure from the outside, and you won't have the strength to say no because you don't know what you're doing. Right? It's easy for somebody to pull you away, move you off your rock when you're not stable on your rock. I want you to have a foundation. You're standing on a pillar, a rock that goes right to the core of the earth. That nobody's pushing me from this rock. Because I'm on a mission. I'm going to accomplish my goals. This is what's important to me to build the life that I want for myself, my family, my community. Schedule for success. Put it into your calendar. That one most important goal that you have, that you laid out in step number 1, that one most important goal, you have to have time for it every week. There has to be somewhere in your calendar where you're spending time on that. If your goal was, I need to write a book's not gonna write itself. You're never gonna magically have free time to do it. You have to block off time in your calendar to make sure that it happens. And step number 3 is create an environment of excellence. An environment of excellence. You want to create an environment that lifts you up, that gives you motivation, that boosts you. It's everything from your physical environment. Look at mine. Like, these people are here on the wall for a reason. They may not mean anything to you, right? You probably know him, and most of you won't know all the people in between there. That's okay. They mean something to me. They mean something to me. This is my environment of excellence. What's yours? When you walk into your office, your bedroom, your basement, wherever you're working, your car, does it boost you? Does it make you come alive? Doing this, setting this office up, is a one-time thing. And then every day I walk in and it's a reminder. It's a reminder to play bigger. It's a reminder to believe in myself more. It's a reminder to chase down excellence. It's a reminder to not stay comfortable. Build your own environment of excellence.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that, if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
For me, my goal is to help a billion entrepreneurs. And so I always want to work on projects that have the ability to have a massive impact. That's what I strive for every single day.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
Don't go to them asking for help first. Go to them with value first, so that they're stumbling all over themselves to try to find a way to help you out too. Bring value first.
Rule number 3, get attention.
People often ask me, what is your business model, Evan? How do you make money? This is it. This is my business model. I kick up as much noise in my industry. I get as much attention as possible in my industry, and then I find ways to monetize it. That's it. When you have a lot of attention in your industry, people will find you and throw opportunities at you. My biggest challenge is trying to figure out now which opportunity to go after. I get speaking gigs because of the attention I built to my YouTube channel. I get opportunities to connect with people like Tony Robbins and have them be interviewed on my channel. I get brand deals with people wanting to partner with me. I get book deals. Everything has come because of my YouTube channel, because I built up 250 million views, because I have 1 point whatever million subscribers. I just kick up a lot of attention in my industry, and then deals come to me. And that works really well for someone like me, because I'm introverted, because I'm much better at marketing than I am at sales. And so instead of me spending time, which would be more wasted time, going out, trying to connect with people, trying to reach people because I'm introverted, I just get to work on creating amazing content, and I have people then find me and fly me out to places and pay me to do things because I built up the marketing attention machine. And so if you want to do that as well, I'm going to give you a 7-step process that I use every single time for whatever platform I'm going after that you can win and model as well. Okay, step number 1 is you have to decide to get attention. You have to decide, you have to say, I am going to go out and get attention, because all of the strategies that I'll give you and others will throw at you as well will not work unless you've decided. There's a whole bunch of people who have made it in the offline world that now come to me and say, hey Evan, can you help me blow up online? I'd say, yes, I'm happy to help. I love your message. But you have to be committed to doing this. This isn't just some strategy that's going to help you. You have to be committed to be able to make content, and that you are picking a platform that you're going to blow up on, and you're going to be committed to doing it. It's not just some strategy. You got to love it. You got to be all in. You have to decide, I am going to blow up on this platform. And so number 1, get out of your own way. Get out of your ego. It's not about you blowing up personally because you want to look like a rock star. Understand that the more that you blow up, the more that people understand your story. This is your gateway to close sales, because the thing that'll make you different than the big corporations, why am I going to hire you? Why will I work with you instead of some big corporation? Big corporation, they have a history. They have a reputation. They have a brand name. They've been around forever. Why am I going to work with you? Because I know your story, because I like you, because I feel like you care, not some giant corporation. But if you don't tell me that, if I don't feel that, if you haven't blown up, if you're not deciding to get attention, then I'm never gonna know the difference between you and giant corporation, and then I'm gonna make my decision only off of price. And if your strategy is to be the low price provider, that's a losing game long term. And so step number one is you have to decide that you are committed to this year, I'm going to get attention because it's the best thing, not just for me, it's the best thing for my business, it's the best thing for my family, it's the best thing for my community, and it's the best thing to further serve my mission. It's not about you and your ego. It's about the mission and the business and your family. You need to get attention. Step number two is pick your best platform. There's lots of different platforms out there. The one that you should go with is the one where, number one, your audience is. So if you're picking a big platform like YouTube or Instagram, it serves a big audience. If you have a specific audience, so if you want to do business, then you can go to LinkedIn, right? If you want to do the tech community, Twitter is going to be a better bet for you. If you want to target preteens, then you want to be on Snap. Depending on what your market is, where your audience is, you want to pick your platform. Then you want to pick what are you the best at doing. So I love making videos, and so YouTube is a great platform for me. Maybe you love writing. Maybe writing is your preferred method. Maybe you don't want to be in front of a camera. Great. Maybe you love audio, and so you'd rather do a podcast than make a YouTube video. Great. When you can figure out where your audience is, that also matches with your skill set, then pick that one social media platform and go all in on that one. People often say, well, you got to be everywhere. You got to have all your accounts. I disagree at the start. I think you should have an account on each platform. One, just to have the account, just so that nobody else can take your name and squat on it and ruin your reputation potentially. And two, just to listen. So if Twitter is not your main platform, but somebody tweets at you, you want to be able to respond and you want to encourage them. They're your champions. They're out spreading your message for you. But if you try to be everywhere all at the same time at the beginning when it's just you doing it, every platform is going to suck. You're going to do everything in a really mediocre way. I'd much rather have you focus on one platform, go and crush it, go and dominate it, and as you scale up and build a team, then you can go and branch out to the other ones. So pick that single best platform for you. Step number three, commit to posting every day. Every day, you have to post every single day. Whatever platform you're on, you have to commit to posting every single day. YouTube is probably the platform where you can get away with not posting every day, but I post 3 times a day. And yes, I built my team that's helped me be able to do that. And yes, you may not be able to do it right from the beginning, but that is your ambition. I want you posting every single day. Whatever you're picking, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snap, Facebook, Pinterest, wherever you're going. If you are posting every single day, you have a much bigger chance of getting attention, of getting your message to spread than if you're posting every week or every 2 weeks or once a month. And then you might say, well, I want the quality. The quality has to be high, right? It has to be good. I don't want to release crap. Yes, 100%. But if you can get to the point where you are releasing 80% quality every day instead of 100% quality once a week, do the 80%. Now, if it's going to come down to 50% quality, now we've got an issue. But if you can release at 80% and do it more frequently, you will grow. You will blow up. You will get more attention, and your mission will be served. You will reach more people, you will sell more, you will get more attention and start to win harder. You need to at least get on the map, get on the path, have a vision to be able to posting daily. That is in your mindset. You are building the business that you can post daily, whether you can do it right now or at least it's on your game plan. You can't be stuck in posting any less. Step number 4 is learn how to create great content. I get so many people who write to me and say, hey, I'm making great content, but I'm not winning. What's up? How do I get better? How do I promote myself more? Chances are your content's not that good. Listen, I'm being honest, your content is not that good. First step for that is watch your own content back. Would you consume you? Would you watch your video of your message and say, wow, that was really good? Like, watch your own content back. Would you subscribe to your channel? And if the answer is no, then that's a big problem. You have to make content that you are proud of, and you have to learn how to do it. And I'm a big believer that the quantity leads to the quality, that the more you do, if you commit to posting daily, you will figure out how to get better really quickly. If you're only posting once a week, it's going to be hard to get really good quickly because it's just taking you too long. If you're trying to learn French and you go to class once a week, you'll just learn so much slower than if you're going every day. Right? So you need to learn how to make great content. And don't default to thinking that you're making great content. You deserve to be where you're at. Somebody has seen your content and they haven't shared it. You guys are watching this video. Some of you will share it, some of you won't. The ones of you who share it will think this is great, and the ones of you don't, won't. I need to get better, right? The content's not good enough. I need to improve my skills. I need to be a better communicator. I need to get to the point faster. I need to have more energy. There's lots of things I need to work on. People who say I deserve to have 10 million subscribers on my YouTube channel, I don't. I'm not good enough. The content's not good enough. Now, I deserve my 1.7. I deserve to be where I'm at. I'm not garbage, right? But I don't deserve to have my 10. And so you don't deserve anything. You deserve to be where you're at. People are watching your content every single day, hopefully, but they're not sharing it. That's on you. It's never been easier for them to share it. They're not doing it because it's not good enough. So default not to some marketing tactic or strategy, default to how can I get better at the skill of making amazing content. Step number 5 is listen and respond to every single comment. I believe that every comment should get a response. It doesn't have to be you doing it every time. At the beginning, it probably should be so you can learn and taste and see how people are reacting to it. As you grow though, you want to have somebody on your team managing your comments, just like in every other customer-facing part of your business, right? If somebody is calling your store, if you sell flowers and somebody's calling your store, you want somebody to pick up and talk to that customer, right? If somebody's emailing your store and saying, hey, I'd like to buy something, you want to give them a response, right? Somehow in the world of social, we've decided that it's okay to ignore our customers. It's okay not to respond. How most people do it is at the beginning they say, okay, I'm going to respond to every comment. Great. No problem. It's easy because you're getting one comment a day. That's super easy. But as you build up, people will then say, well, I'm only going to respond to the important people. I'm only going to respond to the people who have a certain number of followers. Or I'm only going to spend an hour a day responding to comments. Just hire somebody like you would for every other part of your business that's customer facing. Everybody needs a response, but it doesn't have to be you doing it. When you respond to somebody on YouTube, as an example, they're 7 times more likely to subscribe. You're asking for people's attention, right? You're asking for them to care about you, but you're not spending any time caring back about them. The amount of people who want to grow their channels on any platform, but they're spending 0 time in their comments, you're losing. And so I'm probably the only one at this size who's really hardcore about responding to comments and have hired somebody to do it. I just think it's important. I think if you're not responding to every comment, you're leaving free subscribers, free attention on the table. Just go for it. It's so much easier. Step number 6, understand the hacks of each platform. 80% of success comes back to step number 4, which is learn to make great content. That's 80% of your success. 80% of your success is coming down to, do you know how to make an emotional piece of content that makes people feel something and then move into action? The other 20% is understanding the hacks. So for Instagram, hashtags means a lot. For posting stories versus pictures versus videos, there's different strategies for each one. Going to YouTube, hashtags don't mean anything, but the thumbnail really matters a lot and the title really matters a lot. What you put in the first 15 seconds really matters a lot. There are hacks for each platform and you get it by tasting it and you also get it by learning. You can learn all of this stuff. You can model success. You can watch tons of videos of experts talking about these things. So understanding that last 20% really matters, but you have to understand this is where people fall down. This is where people make so much mistakes on getting attention. You're only focused on the hacks and then you lose because your content's not good enough. 80% of your success will be in the content still, and then 20% in the hacks. If your content's not very good, the right Instagram hashtag is not going to save you. If your YouTube video isn't very good, the right thumbnail isn't going to save you. Always default first to my content sucks, I need to get it better. Now, sucks in relative terms. It sucks compared to where you want it to be. That's how it sucks, but it still may be really good for the people who are serving. You just want it to get better. You want it to keep getting better every single time. So step 6 is understanding the hacks of each platform, diving deep into each one, learning from experts, and playing around with it to be best in class on that platform. So if I look at YouTube as an example, for me, it took me 10 years to get to 1.7 million subscribers. On Instagram, I went from 6,000 to 100,000 in a year, really only spending half of that year pushing it hardcore because I understand how to make the content. I understand how to get attention with great content. What I had to understand was the hacks of each platform. Right? I had to understand what a 1-minute Instagram video would look like. I'd have to understand what a picture looks like versus the videos I'm used to. I have to understand how to do a 15-second story on Instagram and use the right hashtags to bring people in. Those are the hacks, but I understand how to get attention. And so it's so much easier to grow to the next platform and the next platform and the next platform because 80% of it is exactly the same. And then step number 7 is love the algorithm updates. Whenever there's an algorithm update, it's crazy how many people complain. So many people complain like, YouTube changed their algorithm. Instagram's changing their algorithm. Whenever I see that, I'm so happy. I'm so pumped. This is your chance to win. If YouTube updates the algorithm, this is your chance to win because all the people who are ahead of you who are complaining aren't going to do the work to figure out the new algorithm because they want it to go back to what it was before. And check out how many times any of the major social media platforms have ever reversed an algorithm update? Almost never. And so while those people are complaining and they're upset that they lost all this attention, it's not going back to the way it used to be. So let them sit there and complain while you're over on this side crushing it. Anytime there's an algorithm update, love it. Learn to enjoy it. Go dive deep on all the new things that are important to that update and then apply it so you can quickly pass all those people who are complaining who are ahead of you.
Rule number 4, develop discipline.
Discipline is your missing ingredient. You've got the heart, you've got the care, you've got the desire to serve, you know you could be doing more, you want to do it for the right reasons, you're not just here to make money, you're here to have an impact and to grow and do amazing things. You know you can do amazing things. What's missing? Discipline. There's just a lack of follow through. It's the constant start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. And for me, there's nothing more, not just frustrating, but sad than seeing somebody who's got so much talent and so much potential and so much of a heart and just seeing them not win because they're not following through, because you're just not doing the consistent enough work that you're motivated and inspired and then you're not anymore and nothing happens. And one of the only things that saved me, one of the only reasons why I'm here making these videos and you're watching and I've had any success in social media is because I just was disciplined, that I just kept making videos. One of the things I love sharing is my journey of YouTube, because I was not an overnight success story. Every month almost I'll post to my socials of how I grew month over month, year over year on YouTube. And in the first 5 years, I had 7,000 subscribers or so. So 5 years in of making content, 7,000 subscribers. A lot of you are already ahead of that. A lot of you could get there a lot faster than me. How do you keep going when you're not getting traction? When in year 1, you have 100 subscribers. I just had the discipline to keep making content, to keep following through. And 12,000 videos later, here we are. And people can get there faster. You don't have to be as slow as me. I took a long time and I had a lot of issues. I was shy and insecure and introverted and felt like you had to be type A personality to win, and all of these limiting beliefs, all sorts of issues. And you can get there a lot faster than me, but it still requires a discipline to follow through and do it. And I really think it's one of the only things that saved me. I remember sitting down at a Florida outlet mall, and I was sitting there with a friend, and Nina was going shopping, and we spent half an hour at a Starbucks there while she was shopping. And he said, I'm going to be the next Gary Vee of my industry. It was in music. I'm going to be the next Gary Vee in music. And you're going to keep doing your thing. Like, let's keep in touch and see how we do and how we grow. And he posted, 3 or 4 years later on his Instagram, and he said, 3 or 4 years ago, I met Evan Carmichael at this outlet mall in Florida. He had our picture as the post, and I told him I was going to be the next Gary Vee for music, and he's going to keep doing his thing. And Evan went on and did his thing, and I stopped. I didn't have the success that I said I was going to have. And here's the thing: this guy has way more talent than I do, and he's super talented in music, and just better camera presence, more energy. His videos just look better, way more attention to detail. He had all of this stuff and like a warm, amazing human who cares and wants to serve and wants to see musicians make money and turn their art into something amazing, right? Like, he had all of this stuff, all of it. The only thing he lacked was discipline, and he didn't follow through. And I see that in so many of you. You've got everything. You've got all the ingredients. It's just a lack of discipline and not making enough. It's the lack of, because you're not motivated, you stop. And lack of motivation isn't a good enough reason. You have to follow through.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip: never give up.
Paul Newman, the legendary actor, had an amazing quote that I love to repeat. He said, I check my pulse, and if I can find it, I know I've got a chance. You've got a very important choice to make. You either make the rest of your life the best of your life, or you settle for what is and live in your excuses. So you know why I would give up? You know what I'm deeply afraid of? I've got two. I've got a short-term fear and a long-term fear. My short-term fear is of disappointing people. My biggest short-term in-the-moment fear is disappointing people. That I would show up to an event and let people down, that I wouldn't give them value, that people would come and waste their time, spend their money, and I didn't give them value. I'm deeply afraid of it, and still am. I put pressure on these videos. I want these videos to be great. Every time I get in front of this camera and start making a video, I put pressure on myself that this needs to be the best video that I've ever done. I want to not disappoint you guys every single time. And there's this little pause, hesitation before filming, and I'll spend a couple minutes procrastinating because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of disappointing you and making a crappy video. I'll procrastinate, and then I'll do it. And I'll feel great doing it. But my biggest short-term fear is disappointing people. My biggest long-term fear is of regret. Is that I won't live my life. Is that I'll look back and say I could have done more. I should have pushed harder. Because you rarely regret the things that you did. It's the things that you didn't do. The things you were too afraid to do. The actions not taken. That's what you normally regret. And so my biggest short-term fear is disappointing people. My biggest long-term fear is fear of regret. And those things, they fight each other. Right? They fight each other, because if I'm afraid of disappointing somebody, I'm not going to take the action that I should be taking, and then I'm going to regret it later on. And so I try to use that fear of potential regret to push me into action. To say, if I don't make videos today, if I don't do that speech, if I don't get up and make that presentation, if I don't do the thing that I'm afraid to do because of disappointing people potentially, then I'll regret it. And I'll put the pressure like, this is the video. This video right here, this is the video that's gonna blow up everything. That'll change the whole game for me. And if I don't record it because I'm afraid of disappointing somebody, I'm gonna regret that my whole life. And I make it so painful for myself that then I have to act. And that pain pushes me into action and out of procrastination mode. So if that's you, if you're afraid to take action, if you're thinking about giving up, I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is what I call the pillow test. The pillow test is this. Before you sleep tonight, before you put your head on the pillow, this is gonna be you tonight. You're having great dreams. You made amazing progress. You're building an amazing world. You love your life, right? Before you do that tonight, before you put your head on the pillow, you have to do something that will make you proud. That's what I tell myself every day. Today, before I go to bed, I need to do something. Before I hit my pillow, I need to do something that makes me feel proud of myself. And this is something that only you can judge. You might get some small victory and post it on Instagram and get a bunch of adoration and congratulations, but do you feel great about it? Because that's all that matters. How do you feel about yourself is the entire game. Did you do something, even if it doesn't work out, even if you don't get results, it didn't work. Are you proud of yourself for trying? That's what I want. Every single day, you do the pillow test. Before you lie down, before you go to sleep, before the head hits the pillow, are you proud of the effort that you put in? Step number 2 is, what will you regret? What will you regret when you're 95 years old, when you're, at the end of your life, it's over? What will you look back and say, oh, I wish I did this. I wish. Start your sentence with I wish. I wish I what? When you're 95 years old. And feel the pain and the heaviness of that. That you could have done something, that you were great. You're Michael Jordan level talent at something. But you didn't do it because you were afraid. What is that thing? And now the great thing is you still have a chance. You still have an opportunity. You're not 95. You're not at the end, right? You can still do something and take action on it. If you can fast forward that much and actually feel the pain, it'll give you the strength, confidence, motivation to actually go off and do the thing. I hate regret. I want to live my life with as few regrets as possible. And that means standing up to my fears and your fears and the things that are holding you back from taking action. And step number 3 is commit to someone immediately. Commit to someone immediately. As soon as you get an idea, you have this bold vision for yourself. I believe that the ideas that come to you when you're feeling bold, confident, powerful, unstoppable are actually the right ones for you, and then your head talks you down from doing them. Your head plays small. Your head only understands the world that currently exists, so it bases decisions based off of logic, and then you don't do the thing. As soon as you come up with that idea, commit to somebody else. You have to go then do it, because you may let yourself down, but you won't let somebody else down. when you say, I'm gonna show up to that gym and be there, I'm gonna go and do that workshop with you, we're gonna book that ticket and go see that event. You may not show up if it's only you, but you don't wanna let somebody else down. And so use that to your advantage. The next time you come up with an idea, commit to somebody immediately. Maybe it's for tomorrow, next week, or next month, whatever, but you're committing to them so that you have to follow through. This is why it's so important that you love what you do. It's why it's the #1 rule for success that comes up over and over and over and over again is people love what they do. The people who are winning at the highest level, they love what they do. That allows them to be relentless, because you can talk about being relentless and giving it all you've got and going all in and grinding and giving 110%. But if you don't love it, you're gonna quit. It may not be after a day, it may not be after a month, it may not be after a year, but you're gonna quit. When it gets too hard and you don't love it, you will quit. This is why so many entrepreneurs fail, because you're just chasing an opportunity. You're just looking at the fastest way to make a buck in 2019, in 2020, in 2021, the fastest way to make some money. You're gonna give up unless you love it. Now, money's important, it's gotta be in your top 5, but it's not #1. It can't be #1. If money's your #1, you're gonna fail. You just won't put in the work. The people who win have something that they put above money, and that's what allows them to wake up and be relentless and put in the work. You're looking at a guy here who sucked at making videos. You can go back on my channel, you can watch the first videos. I was nervous, I was shy, I still am an introvert, but it's through practice, through being relentless. I've had my channel for 10 years. I've made 5,000 or 6,000 videos across my more than 4 now, 9 or so channels. 5,000 or 6,000 videos, that's crazy, right? That's crazy, who does that? You have to love it. It doesn't feel like work. Making these videos is fun for me still. 10 years later, it's still fun for me. I'm excited. The second that it gets to be, oh, I gotta make videos, that's it, I'm out. Because the people who love doing it will crush me. I was looking at my YouTube thumbnail examples. I'm doing a YouTube course right now where I'm teaching people how to have success on YouTube, how to get your first 1,000,000 subscribers. Where is it? Get there, that gold button, get one of those for you, right? You're a thought leader, you're an expert. I want you to get 1,000,000 subscribers. That's the course that I'm launching right now. So I'm looking at my thumbnail experiments. I have 130 thumbnail experiments happening right now on my channel. I'm testing 130 different variations. Then I went to completed, and what we've completed and gone through. 1,100 something completed thumbnail experiments, just on thumbnails. Just testing my thumbnails, we've done over 1,100 different experiments. That's crazy, right? Testing big changes like not having text on a thumbnail and making it purple and crazy colors, to really little tiny changes. Like, what if we just tweak this person's eyes? What if we alter the shade of orange? Just little tiny changes that most of you probably never notice. Why? I love it. I can't help it. I wake up and I think about this stuff. And that's what I want for you. That's what you need to be doing, and it can't be forced. Jerry Seinfeld calls it the torture that you can endure. The torture that you can endure. Most people talk about passion and purpose, which is great, but it's torture for other people. Me stepping into Ed's schedule should be torture for me, because I don't want his life. I don't want to do what he's doing. It should be torture. How much he's working, how much he's grinding, how much he's chasing down his vision should be torture for me. And same thing the other way, him stepping into my schedule and filming 6,000 videos and doing the work that I'm doing, split testing thumbnails and making content for you, that should be torture for him. If I step into your life, it should be torture for me. If you're an accountant and I stepped into your life, I would hate my life. And no matter how much I listened to videos that said be relentless and keep going and push through, I would quit. I would hate my life so much that I'll never be great at doing this thing. Don't be an accountant if you don't want to be an accountant. You've got to chase down and find the thing that you love. You've got to do the things that give you energy. And that's the big takeaway. Look at what is giving you energy. Look at the activities, the people, the habits, the work that doesn't take energy away, but it lifts you up. If I'm talking to entrepreneurs, it gives me energy. As the night goes on, I only get better. When I do my Thursdays of public facing day of meeting people and doing podcasts and interviews and workshops, I only get better with time. Helping entrepreneurs gives me energy. Pay attention to what gives you energy. Pay attention to the people that give you energy and surround yourself with them more. Pay attention to the activities that give you energy and do more of that. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to go and quit your job and burn the boats and cut all your ties and go all in. You don't have to.
but make progress. If every week you made a 1%, 2%, 3%, 5% improvement in the activities and the people that lift you up and give you more energy, man, your life in a year is gonna be dramatically different compared to where you are right now. You have to be relentless. And it comes only by doing work that you love and gives you energy. Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to learn how to start taking action on your ideas, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
My question for you is if maybe you can suggest a process or ideas on how can I understand what is blocking me from